Fallout Day 2025 came and went with a thud. For months now, fans had built up their expectations, hoping Bethesda Game Studios would finally reveal their next big project in the Fallout universe. Of course, after Oblivion Remastered was released this year and Starfield's 2023 launch. Instead, the event focused on Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Fallout 76 updates, and definitely a lot of merch. No Fallout 3 Remastered reveal, and definitely no Fallout 5 teaser. But here's the thing, Bethesda isn't idle. Their teams are just deep in development on a few different projects at the moment. Between verified leaks, job listings, and what Todd Howard has said himself, we actually have a clearer picture than you might think of the studio's upcoming roadmap. And of course some guesswork along the way, but the wait might be long and the next decade of Bethesda releases does look pretty stacked. So today we're breaking down what's coming from Bethesda Game Studios in the future, not just from the Fallout universe, starting with the long-rumored Fallout 3 Remaster, then the Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5, and yes, even the possibility of Starfield 2. We're about to talk about it all. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest gaming news. And if you want to further support the channel, consider becoming a member for early access on every video, members only content, your name in the credits, the ability to write in and have your comments featured, and access to the Discord community. Let's start with the project everyone thought would show up at Fallout Day, and that's Fallout 3 Remastered. The game has been quietly hovering around the rumor mill for years now. It first appeared in leaked FTC documents back in 2023, the same leaks that revealed Oblivion Remaster, which of course turned out to be very real. That gives Fallout 3 Remaster a lot more credibility than your average insider rumor, but what's happening behind the scenes? Well, I believe they'll probably have the same approach as Oblivion, and the game will probably be revealed pretty much close to release, maybe even shadow drop just like the Oblivion Remaster. And they'll probably also run the original Gamebryo engine in the background and paste Unreal Engine 5 over it for a big visual upgrade. That would mean a full remaster just like Oblivion, not just an HD upscale. Think improved lighting, overhauled character models, and maybe re-recorded audio where necessary. But the catch definitely is timing. Everything points to Fallout 3 Remaster being a side project handled by Virtuous Studios, the same team who worked on Oblivion. That likely means a 2027 release at the very earliest for Fallout 3 Remaster, since they just shipped Oblivion this year and the FTC leaks did show about a 2-year gap between the releases of both titles. And if that timeline holds, the remaster could end up being Bethesda's bridge between the Elder Scrolls and Fallout 5, a perfect way to keep the wasteland alive while the main team works on the new worlds. Then there's the Elder Scrolls 6, and this is definitely the crown jewel in their upcoming lineup. After years of waiting for a new game in the series, this game is finally ramping up development. Todd Howard has confirmed multiple times that it's deep in production, no longer in pre-production since Starfield's release in 2023. Not just conceptual art and design, but real playable progress. But where could this game be set? And obviously the strongest clues that we've heard over and over again at this point still point to Hammerfell, possibly overlapping with parts of the High Rock region. That teaser trailer from 2018 showed a mountainous coastal landscape that fans have matched perfectly to Hammerfell's western cliffs. And when could it release? Well, Starfield launched back in 2023, just 2 years ago. And at least 4 years for development, and you're looking at probably a 2027 or 2028 release by my guess. Right around the launch window for the next-gen Xbox as well. That would sort of line up with Microsoft's hardware cycle and would give Bethesda a massive tentpole game to sell with a new system. Gameplay-wise, expect an evolution rather than a revolution. Creation Engine 2 will return for this game, but much more refined than what we saw in Starfield. Todd Howard has talked about wanting to recapture that sense of wonder from Morrowind and Oblivion. More handcrafted locations, deeper factions, and definitely some fewer procedural filler elements, thank goodness. And hopefully, we shouldn't expect multiplayer or live service gimmicks. The Elder Scrolls 6 is hopefully being built to be a single-player game that you can sink hundreds of hours into, and the sort of RPG Bethesda fans have been begging for. It's their chance to prove that lessons were learned from Starfield and that they're actually listening to their audience, and that BGS can still deliver a true generational epic. And what bigger stage than the next mainline Elder Scrolls game? This game will tell us a lot about what we can expect for Bethesda's future. After the Elder Scrolls 6 ships, Bethesda's next major focus will be Fallout 5. Todd Howard has said it's planned internally and they have a one-pager as of a few years ago. And given how long these games take to make, that means fans will probably be waiting quite a while for this game. The best case scenario here is that Fallout 5 probably releases around 2030 to 2032, at least by my guess, and that sounds pretty painful of course, but it is realistic. But we did get that rumor from Jez Corden at Windows Central who said a few months ago that Fallout 5 had been greenlit. It's not clear who's working on the game right now, but we could assume a small team at Bethesda Game Studios is currently getting going on the very early stages of development for Fallout 5. The same thing happened for The Elder Scrolls 6 as well. That game likely entered early development in 2021 while Starfield was still in full development, and then went into full development itself in 2023 after Starfield was released. That will likely be what happens with Fallout 5. Early development is starting now, and full development will start in 2027 or 2028, or whenever The Elder Scrolls 6 releases. But remember, Bethesda is no longer a studio that rushes their titles. Starfield took almost 8 years from announcement to launch, but of course it was a new IP, and The Elder Scrolls 6 is on a similar release path. Fallout 5 will follow that same slow and steady process. But when it does arrive, it's probably going to be huge. I would expect the next Fallout game to go big, and they're definitely going to be capitalizing on some popularity from the Prime Video show, while also maintaining the open-ended RPG DNA of Fallout 4, New Vegas, and Fallout 3. The game will also likely use a massively upgraded version of the Creation Engine 2 with better AI routines, procedural world generation, and possibly some new features they developed for this new game. And of course, all the lessons they learned from Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6. And the biggest question is the setting for the upcoming Fallout game. What new location will Bethesda be taking us to? Fans have speculated for years about Chicago, Texas, New Orleans, Philadelphia, or maybe they even go back to the West Coast and revisit a city from Fallout 2 like San Francisco. At least that's my favorite guess right now. But whatever location they end up choosing for this game, it'll need to stand out from previous locations like Fallout 76's Appalachia. I know many people didn't like the game, but the map and game world is pretty cool, and it would have been really cool to see in a single player game. But there's also Fallout 4's Commonwealth that I did really enjoy, and the new setting will definitely have to stand out. In short, to summarize all this Fallout 5 talk, it's coming, in the future of course, but it's the far off light at the end of a very long tunnel. Here's where things get interesting. We start to get on sort of an unclear path. With Starfield now 2 years old, players have been wondering whether Bethesda plans to turn into a lasting franchise. Behind the scenes, things are probably also unclear, and they probably don't have a plan on whether they'll actually make a sequel to this game. There are two schools of thought here. On one hand, it says that Bethesda will absolutely make a follow-up, likely in the 2030s after Fallout 5, using all the technology that they've built. Starfield's lore, factions, and star systems are too rich just to walk away from. The other view though is that Starfield may end up being a one-and-done universe. Despite strong sales, player engagement definitely dropped faster than expected for this game, and community feedback around the game's emptier planets and pacing has definitely been mixed. Bethesda may decide that Starfield served its purpose as an experimental leap before returning to the proven worlds of Fallout and Elder Scrolls, which are definitely the worlds I would rather return to with more frequent releases. Either way, we'll probably know within the next few years. If Bethesda greenlights Starfield 2 around Fallout 5's release, we'll start seeing job listings and engine updates that make it clear. Until then, the sequel exists in that limbo between possible and pipe dream. Now that we know what's in the pipeline, it's easier to understand why Fallout Day 2025 rubbed people the wrong way. The event was fine on paper, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Fallout 76 Burning Springs, Fallout Shelter Seasons, but it all felt like filler. There was no Megaton moment or Fallout 3 shown off, no sign of the next generation of games. For longtime fans, that stings. It's been 10 years since Fallout 4 launched, and we hope to at least see Fallout 3 at some point soon. Fallout 76, while massively improved, still carries the baggage of its rough start, and it's not the single-player experience most of us Fallout fans want in their game. And despite the Fallout TV show's huge popularity, Bethesda didn't capitalize on that momentum with a game announcement, and that really does blow my mind at the end of the day. You think with something that big, they would have at least had Fallout 3 Remastered ready to go and release. But here's the harsh reality. Big budget RPGs just take forever nowadays. The kind of worlds that Bethesda is in the business of building, fully voiced, system rich, explorable for hundreds of hours, they unfortunately can't be cranked out every 2 or 3 years anymore. There is of course the spin-off games, and I do hope those return in the future, but it is probably unlikely. They released Fallout 3 in 2008, and just 2 years later, Fallout New Vegas released in 2010 from Obsidian. I would love to see them release games, sort of spin-off games, intermittently between releases. It would be a great way to give us more from these universes. I mean, honestly, they should have had a Fallout 4 spin-off. I mean, Fallout 4 releases in 2015, and then they pick some other location and give this code and everything like that over to another studio to release a spin-off game in 2018 or something instead of Fallout 76, but that would have definitely been cool to see, and I hope they do return to those spin-off games in the future. And to circle back around to the point, Starfield alone took nearly a decade from concept to release, but of course that was a new IP, so while the lack of reveals was disappointing, it's not necessarily a sign of trouble for the studio. Of course, we wouldn't have seen anything but Fallout at the Fallout Day broadcast, but it's just the reality of development in 2025. Bethesda isn't a studio with multiple mainline teams. It's a handful of tightly controlled divisions working on one giant game at a time. Still, fans can't help but hope for more transparency from the developer. Even a short teaser for Fallout 3 Remaster, or some sort of update on Fallout 5 or when we could actually expect the game would have gone a long way, of course, but we're probably a long way off from hearing anything about those. Instead, the silence made it feel like Bethesda is saving all the real news for another year. Who knows, maybe we'll actually see it in the next Fallout Day in 2026, we'll see Fallout 3 Remastered get revealed. And maybe when the Elder Scrolls 6 is finally ready to show, we'll see it at the Game Awards or maybe Summer Games Fest. I, for one, just want an update and release window on some of these upcoming games. So where does that leave us? Bethesda's next 5 to 7 years are clearly mapped out, even if they won't say it outright. Elder Scrolls 6 is the next big launch, most likely landing in 2027 or 2028. Fallout 3 Remastered could arrive around the same time, perhaps as a side release to fill the gap, and Fallout 5 is still 5 to 7 years away by my guess, and Starfield 2 may or may not happen depending on how priorities shift post Elder Scrolls. That's definitely a long wait, but it's not without hope. Oblivion Remastered proved that Bethesda can breathe new life into classic games. Fallout 76 keeps evolving into a surprisingly rich online experience, even if it's not all of our cups of tea. And the Fallout TV show continues to bring new fans into the wasteland. The Fallout Day 2025 broadcast might have been a letdown on the Fallout front at least, but the future of Bethesda Game Studios isn't bleak, it's just slow. Every vault door opens eventually though. And when it does, the next age of BGS worlds, Hammerfell, the Capital Wasteland, or somewhere far beyond the stars will be well worth the wait. So yeah, on the Fallout side of things, Fallout Day didn't give us the big reveals we wanted. No Fallout 3 Remastered trailer and no hints of Fallout 5, but the pieces are definitely in motion here. And the next decade of Bethesda's lineup is quickly taking shape, and once it starts rolling, it's hopefully gonna feel like a tidal wave of RPGs. Until then, we wait, and we explore, and we keep the Pit-Boy charged, because one day soon, the next vault door will open. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest gaming news. And if you're looking for something else to watch, click one of the videos you're seeing on screen right now. I will see you there. Also, a huge thank you to all the amazing channel members.